in Las Vegas.
Oh, left hand. Good right hand by Donaire. And another left uppercut.
Oh,
Donaire working well. Oh, my. Look out, Nordine.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, there's a huge amount of, I mean, wow. That's a lovely right hand.
That dude can still hit. What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is the preview to Saturday's Bantamweight matchup featuring the champion Nordine Oubaali taking on future Hall of Famer Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donaire, in a championship matchup on Showtime. And let's get into it. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Nordine Oubaali, who is the WBC champion, is 17-0 with 12 knockouts. He's seasoned as far as age. He's 34, about 4 years younger than Nonito Donaire, but he seems to not have the wear and tear on his body as, say, Nonito Donaire does, who has jumped weight classes for better or for worse. He seems like he's going to be the faster, more active, more possibly athletic fighter in this fight, but that could be because of age. He's about 4 inches. No, I'm sorry. He's about 2 inches shorter than Nonito. Nonito has the reach advantage, if I'm not mistaken. I always keep my computer very close because I can't remember. But he has a 67-inch reach, while Nonito has a 68. So it's a slight advantage. But Nonito is about 2.5, 3 inches taller than Oubaali. He's a good fighter. He has some quality wins. He beat Rashad Warren. He beat Takuma Inoue, who is Monster Inoue's younger brother, who is a vastly different fighter. I mean, he's a very good fighter. He beat Takuma when Takuma was undefeated. That was his last fight. He just doesn't have the power that Monster Inoue does. So I guess you can tell the difference. One is called Monster, one is not. But he likes to fight from the outside. He doesn't really stay on the inside very long. He really doesn't fire mid-range. He wants to stay on his toes, hop, kind of show the jab upstairs from the southpaw stance, so the upstairs and downstairs. And when he is going downstairs, or if he jabs downstairs, he's going to jab, kind of ball up, and get all his explosiveness and come with the straight left hand. Or if he doesn't jab first and he kind of dips down, balls up from that crouching position, he's going to come up and explode. And that's his thing. He wants to get as much going downhill to get to his opponent and get right back out. He will throw the occasional combination. He doesn't much throw the combination off the jab often. More so, he likes to throw it off the hook. He will throw the occasional straight left, but he's always off his toes. He kind of has an odd rhythm, and timing him would be important. The keys to this is to be first against Nonito Donaire. He wants to be first, and he doesn't want to stay in his wheelhouse too long. He's going to have the activity advantage. He's going to have the speed advantage against a very seasoned, very intelligent, very experienced fighter in Donaire, who has amazing timing, even in his losses. This is going to be Oubaali's best opponent to date. So at 34, he wants to make this happen. He wants to get a real Hall of Fame scalp on his resume, and this is that opportunity. Donaire, on the other hand, like I said, wear and tear. He lost at higher weights. He lost to Guillermo Rigondeaux, and a lot of people made an argument for that fight because Rigondeaux kind of backed off. I mean, he had the speed advantage, the size advantage, maybe not the power advantage, but he never really wanted to mix it up with Donaire. And if you watch that fight, Donaire landed some solid shots, some very solid shots. And we know Rigondeaux is very opposed to taking to contact. So that fight was much closer than it had to be. Frampton, who is a frenetic, athletic, pace fighter, and this is going to look similar to that fight just from southpaw, was able to again, be the bigger fighter and make it very interesting against Donaire. Walters was just a huge fighter who cracked. So Donaire was probably, I would say, at his worst because he relied so much on his left hook and landing that one shot that he had to take a step back and go back to what he did well. And that was being patient, being smart, and landing that power shot. He kind of fell in love with the power in his left hook. That's not to say that he doesn't still have that power. And against lefties, he lands it quite often. And if you look at the Jesse Magdaleno fight, someone who was as big, if not bigger than Donaire at 122, if I'm not mistaken, with that fight. Again, I don't want to be wrong, so that's why I always have my computer with me. That fight with Magdaleno, I want to say it was back in 2016. And my computer froze. I have a piece of crap computer. Anyway, with that fight, I want to say it was at 122, possibly even 126. But Magdaleno, being the bigger fighter, the younger fighter, the more athletic fighter, had really good speed, and he fought a lot from the outside. But because of his size, he could get in there and mix it up. But once he was in there, Nonito was able to place his shots very well, countering with the right hand, dropping the left hook to the body. He never really landed that vaunted left hooks up top that often. And that is what Oubaali is going to have to watch out for. Because in the fight against Inoue, he was time jumping in. Now, granted, because he jumped in and was immediately landing on the inside, he was able to take advantage of Inoue and knock him down. But the problem was, Inoue, had he had actual power, could catch him. Unfortunately, he was stepping back and punching with his right to catch Oubaali, and he landed the left hook to the body. The one thing Inoue probably should have set when he jumped in and hit him with the uppercut. That would have been a big thing. And Nonito Donaire, because he places a shot, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the right uppercut timed, because what he's going to do, he's going to land that step back counter right. He did the same thing with Monster Inoue. He stepped back, landed the right hand, and shook him up. And it happened quite a few times. Inoue's a much better fighter than Oubaali. So he's going to land that right hand. It's going to make Oubaali hesitant to jump in. He's going to land the right uppercut, come with the left, and we know he loves that left hook. That is his money shot. Oubaali, the thing about him is that he likes to back straight up. He jumps in, he jumps out. He jumps in, he jumps out. But he backs up. He's got to learn to turn, or he's got to commit to turning Donaire like Magdaleno did. Magdaleno did not just jump straight back. He would turn Donaire. He would sidestep Donaire to keep him a bit off balance when he was throwing those power shots. Look for that. Oubaali, move laterally, not back. That's the last thing you want, because when you're moving back, Nonito Donaire, with the longer reach and being taller, will cover more ground and hit you with something that you don't expect. And then he's going to, again, follow up with that left hook. So it's kind of a hard fight to call right now, because Oubaali hasn't really taken that much damage, while Donaire has. Donaire's older. He is slowing down, but because he's such an intelligent fighter, a smart fighter, has power in both hands, and because he's more athletic than he looks, he's just not going to get overwhelmed unless he aged from his last fight with Monster Inoue. And that was in 2019. So he's been off for about a year and a half, and we know why. Oubaali, his last fight was also in 2019. Actually, I think that was they fought on the same day. So they had the same amount of time off. So who has trained over that time and is coming in more prepared? Donaire really wants this. He wants to get that championship and get a few more fights under his belt before he calls it a career, because he still got a lot to give. He still wants to be that Filipino great, like Jerry Penalosa, Manny Pacquiao. So that's what we're looking for. If I had to say, my heart is going with Donaire because I know exactly what he can do. But this guy Oubaali will make for a very interesting fight because of his style. But he seems like he can't get caught. It's just, can he take that punch and deliver his own fire back as well and beat Donaire to the punch on almost every, if not every mix-up. That's what he wants. That's all I got for you today. Tell us what you think. Put your comments down below. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, all capital combat. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. We're looking to bring you more boxing analysis, MMA. We're going to try to do kickboxing as well. We just love combat sports. If you haven't already checked it out, check out Hakeem's preview to this weekend's fight with Devin Haney taking on Jorge Linares. That should be a really good fight. If Haney doesn't get him out of there in the first 2 rounds, then we're going to get a very high level, high skill, possibly even action-packed offensive fight. And until next time, fight on.